Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today is the day that we finally swap over the Ohlins suspension package that came with the R1M over to the 2017 R1. And believe me, there is a lot to unpack in this video. So before we get into it, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in again, liking the video, sharing the videos, and to those of you that have subscribed to the channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is a little bit of a leftover shrapnel after I cleaned the bike. This stuff is pretty much everywhere, so I got to do a lot of thorough examination to make sure none of this stuff is still left in the engine anywhere once I start swapping over parts like the throttle bodies and, different hoses and things of that nature. I wanted to elaborate a little bit. This is where the piston exited the block. This is the aftermath that was left behind. You can't see it because I just cleaned out most of it, but there's still a little bit left in here. But some of that shrapnel was scattered out at the bottom of this throttle body also. So gotta open it up, clean out the rest of what's on the inside. Hopefully there's nothing, but there probably is. And hopefully we'll be able to put this airbox and throttle bodies on tonight. after another late night. As I told you all before, I'm beginning a new career. Well, I'm going to school to begin a new career. And we have our in-person orientation in about an hour and a half. So, not really going to be able to do anything before I go, but I just wanted to take a moment to update you all, because I did a lot of off-camera work, or I just did work on camera, but I didn't really introduce what I was doing or why I was doing it. So in the middle of it, I realized this. I was just like, I'll just make a video and kind of backtrack what went on in the meantime. To start, I was so excited to get to work on this thing that once I dropped the shock, this is the 2017 R1. This is the R1M. Obviously, if you know anything about these bikes, this is a dead giveaway. As I removed the rear shock and I found the plugs for it, I started looking for the plugs on the factory 2017 harness, and I realized there was no input for the R1M shock package on this wiring harness. So this is now the wiring harness that came from the R1M. So keep that in mind if you're doing a R1M package to a R1. Along with the shocks, you also need the wiring harness. And I got both of the rear shocks swapped over last night. Pulled the wiring harness off of the R1M and pretty much have it mounted over here. I just got to sort out the rest of these wires and all that jazz. So the mystery of which ECU am I going to be using, I guess it's kind of been solved now. I mean, as I said before, I don't know what all Chris Moore did to the original ECU that came on this bike on the 2017. But I do know that it also came with a Dynojet power commander, which had a toggle switch. I'm assuming that has something to do with fuel management, the way it was set up, because I don't understand why you would flash the ECU and still run a power commander. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not something people do. It's just not something I do, something I'm not familiar with. I'm sure that someone else knows. Yes, I should have put paper towels down these cylinders. I didn't. I was tired. No one comes in the garage. The garage is usually sealed. It's a complete wreck right now. That's my plastics pile of crap. And this is the original throttle body that was on the bike from the accident. So yeah, man, this is basically a complete rebuild, pretty much from engine and frame, if you really want to be honest. I guess the swing arm and the rear wheel, those are going to remain as well. But also, I wanted you guys to know, when I took the subframe off of the R1M, I just left everything connected to it. Everything is still connected to it. So when I do mount it back to the 2017, all of this is just going to be, mount up to it, which I'm probably going to be getting all of this stuff powder coated with the parts that are still on one of these bikes. That's the good part about having a spare bike you can pull parts from. This is the factory rim that came, the front rim that came on the bike. What's left of it. Got a couple more pieces just sitting over there somewhere. And these are the R1M fairings that I'm planning to sell, which will help cover the cost of some of this other stuff that I have to get. By the time this video goes up, hopefully all of this stuff would have been sold, because I still need to buy headlights. And speaking of headlights, got a package in yesterday to begin the 2020 conversion for the headlights. Man, it's a mess in here. Man, it is a mess. This is what bike building looks like, guys. I know you may see some videos and the garages look neat and nice and tidy the whole time, and that may be the case for some people, but for most of us, it's not like that. This is the harness that came off 2017. As I had said before, obviously it's still in really good shape, so I'll probably be using it when I rebuild this bike. That one right there, the 2016. This is going to be probably one of my biggest issues with this one, along with that. But anyhow, got this thing off the R1M yesterday, cleaned it up. So you may not be able to tell on camera, but man, this thing looks damn near new, at least on the backside. But compared to how it was, it had a lot of oil and dirt crap built up into it. So yeah, as I said, just wanted to give you all a quick update as to what's been going on, because I have, as I said, my orientation is from 9 o'clock till noon today. So by the time I get out of school or get back from the school, it'll be probably the hottest part of the day out here. And believe it or not, we got another heat wave going on with 100-degree temps. So, not looking forward to that.
One eternity later.
Getting back to it a lot later than I had planned. Once I got home from orientation, I decided to take a nap. Once I woke up from the nap, I came out here, cleaned up a little bit. After that, I got hungry, so I decided to go and get something to eat. So now I'm back, and I am debating what my next course of action should be. But my game plan was actually to remove the forks. And when I set that bike back down, I was planning to just put it on bricks or a little dolly, something like this one, so that it's not constantly in my way. The issue is I'm doing this by myself. Either way it goes, it's going to cause me a lot of work. And obviously this stuff isn't easy. I'm not claiming that it is. I'm not claiming that it should be. But it's a lot easier with the proper tools and a helping hand. Doing it by myself, not so easy. You know, I gotta do a lot of figuring out stuff, making stuff work. And that's pretty much all this stuff is, man. It's just figuring out ways to make what you have work. And I guess tonight will be no different, but we'll figure it out. Normally when I'm out there working, I either have these on or nothing at all. But given the fact that this bike is going to be pretty unstable and probably there's a good chance that it might fall. I'm at least going to put sneakers on. I have steel toe boots, but they're outside and I need to clean them. And I'm not doing all that right now. So just put some shoes on. So went and found my other brick and that'll hold it pretty steady with support for now. That's good enough. Now I'm gonna go ahead and swap this fork for the M fork. I may put these forks back on here just so that I can move this bike around and it's not taking up space in my garage until I'm, completely disassemble it and move it somewhere else. Go ahead and plug the forks in here. Take these forks away. Do that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get stuff done. Got a little bit of mail coming in. It was supposed to come tomorrow, but the fairings also are scheduled to arrive today. As a matter of fact, let's crack this puppy open. Now, before some of you get too salty about the parts not being OEM, but keep in mind that this whole build series is a budget build, basically rebuilding the bike and saving money while doing it, but still having a bike that looks good, looks pretty good. I mean, the whole thing's going to be painted anyway. It's like $28 for this thing, so it's pretty decent, pretty good for, what it costs. Let's see how it mounts up to the bike. So I did want to mention that this piece here is just plastic. Not going to say that I would really trust it, especially if I have extra hardware from the seat that came off of my bike. I'll try to straighten out the one that was originally on the 2017 and get it to work. But if not, I can always just use the one from the R1M because I'm not selling the seat. So we'll see how that comes out. All right, guys. So the fairings also came in on the same day. So I figured I'd just crack these open also so you guys can see what canvas I have to work with. I didn't order fairings with graphics or anything like that on them already. This is the company that I've been using, but hopefully after a few of these videos get out there, who knows, man, maybe a boy get a sponsorship by one of these other companies that make aftermarket fairings. So I'll be able to preview some different fairings with graphics already on them for you guys, and we'll see how that goes. I've ordered aftermarket fairings white a few times, and the quality hasn't been bad. Like sometimes I'll have them laying on the floor just like this and accidentally step on them, and they won't crack, the tabs won't break, anything like that. Not too crazy about how they package all of this stuff, especially with the main side pieces being at the very bottom. But also, if you do order the all white bearings like this, I've never received a set that have been unfinished as they claim in the ads. They say they're unfinished, but clearly they are not unfinished, meaning that you still have to sand them, at the very least wet sand them before you primer and spray them, depending on what paint you use. Like I said, since this is going to be a budget build, I'm doing the paint with rattle can. I'll do the clear coat with, the same type of paint that you would use on a vehicle. But as far as the base coat goes, I'm going to use that right there. That is the base that I'm going to go with. It's going to basically be an updated version of my '04 R1. These wheels, unfortunately, that beautiful blue, is going to be black. And it's unfortunate because those wheels really are a major highlight of these bikes. Almost every personal bike that I have owned has always had some sort of red in it when I customize it. So I don't see a reason to switch that up now. So as far as the bike itself, still gotta put that exhaust on. The bearings for the steering stem should be in tomorrow. So I'm going to have to redo those forks. When I say redo, I mean I'm going to have to raise the bike up again, drop the forks out, put the bearings, change the bearings out, all that jazz. Including the race, which I'm not looking forward to. But as far as the electrical stuff goes, once I put that air box and the fuel tank in, I think I'll be good on buttoning up the rest of this electrical stuff. There's a few that I'm going to have to jump back to the manual to figure out, since the fairings are here, I will find out if this thing can be reused or if I have to order a new one, which I've already, found one for a pretty good price, added it to my cart. But I'm probably just going to get that from the dealership. It's only like, 36 bucks, something like that. And the one I found on eBay is around like $32. So, but yeah, now that I have a lot of these parts, I can mount them up to the bike just to see, make sure everything fits properly, and also to see what else I need to make this thing complete. Obviously not going to use all of these parts. Like I said, I just purchased one of these, and looking at it, I think it's like the same one. But I only paid $50 for it, and the ones that I was looking at online were going for actually, I really didn't even pay $50 for it, man, because the guy charged me $250 for the daytime running lights plus the bracket, and it was $250. I mean, most people are selling those lights for more than $250, and he paid for the shipping. So I'm definitely not gonna cry about that. Up in the air about the front hugger, because I'm planning on keeping the carbon fiber hugger from the R1M. Probably Not going to be using this piece. Well, I'm going to use this piece. I'm sorry. Probably won't use this piece. I saw a nice carbon fiber one, so I may use it, short term, because as I said, this is a budget build, but I'm probably going to replace this with a carbon fiber later on. I'm not in a rush to do it, obviously. I think this is still good on the current bike that I have, but I may use it anyway. This right here really says a lot though, man. This is pretty nice. It's got nice thickness, durability. I like it. But yeah, as I was saying, all of these, if you get the white unfinished, they still have a finish. It may just be, to protect when they're making the mold or whatever, but you still will have to sand these pieces down before you add paint to them. And they always have like superficial scratches and little dirt blotches and things like that on them anyway. So you don't want to just spray on top of any of that crap anyhow. So yeah, guys, that's it for the fairings. So next step, I'll be adding the hardware to the back of most of these things so I can mount them up to the bike and make sure everything fits the way they're supposed to. Catch you later.